Hello everyone, welcome back to Major Hi-Fi. Today we have yet another new IEM from Campfire Audio. This is the Mammoth. So not long ago, only a couple weeks ago, if that, Campfire released two new IEMs, which were the Honeydew and the Satsuma, and those were in the kind of $300 price range. And then just this week, they released two more IEMs, and these are more in the $600 price range, so about double the price. And these also come with the glow-in-the-dark cables as kind of an added bonus. And this is the Mammoth. The other one released alongside it is the Holocene, which I am also going to do a video on. I will link to that below. And yeah, so let's take these out of the box and see what's inside. All right, so if I open this up, it's pretty standard for Campfire. We get a carrying case and we have a box here with some drawstring bags that have extra ear tips in them. And the carrying case on this one is pretty wild, very psychedelic, I don't know what you want to call it, 80s maybe. You can debate me on if that's the correct stylistic era to define this by. I really don't know, but I like it. I think it's fun, very colorful, probably not going to fit everybody's style. And then before I take out the IEMs, I'll just quickly show you the accessories we get. We get these nice drawstring bags that come with every Campfire IEM, and inside of these we have a variety of different rubber and foam ear tips and whatnot. And then in addition, we also get a cleaning brush. These run for $5.49. The Holocene runs for $6.49, so these are the cheaper of the two new releases, and that kind of puts them in kind of the low to middle of Campfire's price range. As you can see, they've got this nice, really dark blue metallic color on them, and we've also got this clear MMCX connector along with the clear coating around the 3.5 millimeter termination, and these are the areas that glow in the dark, in addition to the Campfire logo. I don't know if I can capture the glowing on this camera. I might try, but it's pretty hard to see on camera. In person though, they glow very brightly. For me, this was more an advantage of not losing them in the dark, especially if you were to use these maybe in a live application. A lot harder to lose. You know, does it look cool? Sure. And then looks-wise, it's the standard build for Campfire. We've seen this build before on a ton of their IEMs. It's this kind of angular, geometric look. It's made to kind of have a tight fit without touching your ears too much and creating a lot of friction, and I definitely think it does that in my experience. Yeah, the fit is very standard for Campfire. It works well. They definitely don't vary their fit too much because they know that what they have works, and I've never had a problem with getting their IEMs to be comfortable in my ears. I'm aware that they look very geometric and angular, like I said, and they might not look super comfortable maybe to some people, but they are actually way more comfortable than they might appear. So I'm a fan of the fit on these. It's very secure. So yeah, not a ton to say about the look. They're just solid metallic blue. Campfire loves to be colorful and whatnot. These are maybe not the brightest colors that they've ever used. We've certainly seen some very bright IEMs from them. But it's, pretty no frills, and I think it's a good look. I'm a fan of most of the Campfire IEMs stylistically, personally. Design-wise, these use two custom balanced armature drivers, one for the highs and one for the mids, and then we also have a custom 10mm biocellulose diaphragm dynamic driver, and that is supposed to give more of an old-school sound, Campfire says, to the low end. And then, like I said before, we have a glowing cable, which is a nice addition, and these have a frequency response of 5 Hz to 20 kHz and an impedance of 8.1 ohms. All right, so let's talk about how these sound. Side note, it just started raining like cats and dogs outside, so if you hear any thunder, then just disregard that. All right, if you've watched my videos before, I normally start off with a Soundstage, but with some IEMs, I like to talk about that last because the frequency response sometimes has a bigger effect on the Soundstage in some IEMs than others, and with these it does, so I'm gonna get to that last. I'm gonna start out with the low end, which I think was maybe one of my favorite parts of these. It has a really tight, deep, and extremely punchy low end. We're talking like extra punch, a few extra servings of that nice thud. It's gonna reach really well into the sub range. You're gonna get a lot of just a pretty like all-encompassing low end that goes, you know, from the lowest lows to all the way up into those sort of attack heavy areas and just sort of covers the whole spectrum. It's not the loosest low end response. These have a very tight grip on it, so it's pretty contained, but like I said, it's full and it's getting that whole picture of the low end. So if you want, you know, a good bass response, but you don't want that kind of rumbling, booming sound, then these are great for that. Probably not the most cinematic low end, but definitely a very kind of, well, I guess I meant to call it modern sounding, even though I guess they said it was old school, but frankly, I'm not that old, so maybe I just don't know what old school low end sounds like. I don't know, I've owned some pretty old speakers before, but to me it sounded like a very hi-fi kind of, you know, new-aged modern low end. Not to rag on what they were saying it was supposed to sound like. I didn't really get old school from it. I got very clean, you know, pretty uncolored low end from these personally, but I liked it. I thought it was really good, and I appreciated just that extra attack, that extra kind of impact that they really delivered really well. I listened to this album by this artist LaFonda. I've probably talked about her in some other videos. I really love her music. It's very Bjork-esque. It's the best artist I can probably try to compare it to. It's very individual, but she has this album called Ancestor Boy. Highly recommend checking it out, and it's great for testing out like the bass of any headphone or IEM because it has so many different kicks and bass and toms and all these different timbres. Just every single song is like packed full of every single type of low end, you know, you can kind of think of, and you know, electronic, acoustic, all that kind of stuff. So with these, it did a really good job. It didn't seem intimidated or overwhelmed by any of the different kind of types of low end. You know, whether they were really booming or rumbling or percussive. It did give that more contained, controlled feel. It had that tight grip, like I said, but it didn't seem like it didn't know what to do with any of them or that it just kind of couldn't convey certain tones. It was able to really fit in every single thing that was thrown at it, so the low end response on these was a big home run for me. All right, so the mid-range. These are a little bit more resonant in that area. I wouldn't call them the sharpest IEM I've ever heard from Campfire. You know, compared to say like oh my God. Compared to like say Campfire Satsuma, which I'll link my review to that below, which has a really resonant mid-range, at least to my ears. These were not anywhere near that. In fact, they were one of the few IEMs I've heard that has a kind of accentuated high mid that didn't really disturb my ears, and I have very picky, fragile eardrums in the mid-range, so I tend to get offended quite easily, and these did not kind of trip my sensor. They felt like they, you know, accentuated it enough to bring up that vocal presence or to bring out strings or guitars, you know, any of those elements. They were like giving me more presence and definitely, you know, some noticeable kind of like added sharpness as you get with an extended high mid, but it didn't feel like it was crossing that line of harshness and kind of unpleasantness. But maybe a few occasions on a few tracks I did feel like I could use a little bit dialed back, but keep in mind I'm very sensitive in that area, so if you relate to me on that front, then maybe that's something to think about, but if you don't tend to have that issue, then probably it's not going to mess with you at all. There's some slight coloration going on in the high mid that kind of tapers off towards the low mid. The low mid is a lot more neutral and sort of just a bit untouched in a way, probably a bit less accentuated than the high mid itself, as is not uncommon with a kind of more accentuated high mid. You let the low mid take a bit of a backseat to make room for it. I definitely found this mid-range worked really well with certain types of voices. Like I listened to a lot of No Name. If you've ever checked her out, look her up. No Name, one word, great music. I listened to her song Window, and I can think that just a bunch of her music, and her voice has kind of a lower timbre to it, but it's got a nice sort of rasp, I guess, in a way. I don't know what the best word to use for it is. Just check it out and you'll see what I mean. But on these IEMs, they did a great job with that kind of drier, like lower register female voice. It was really, really nice, and it gave just a really great forward kind of intimate presentation of her music that was really refreshing to listen to. All right, so high end, this is definitely a darker IEM. Once again, not the darkest I've heard from Campfire. The Honeydew, for example, almost rolls off a fair amount of the high end. This is not rolling anything off, it's just cutting it, you know, a fairly noticeable amount. So if you want shine or gloss, not the place to look, but if you want a more subdued, dampened high end, this is probably your cup of tea. I did feel like this kind of dulled high end felt slightly stuffy at times, though for the most part, the sort of accentuated high mid kind of balanced that out and made it make a bit more sense for my ears. So I was overall cool with it. I'm a fan of brighter IEMs personally. I know a lot of people are not. So it worked for the most part. I definitely, always want more brightness. So these might not have been like my total go-to IEM personally, but I know a lot of people, maybe more people than not actually, who don't like a ton of high end and they're just easily turned off by it. So this could be perfect for a lot of you, kind of looking on the darker side audiophiles, but you don't want that total roll-off going on. These definitely go for that sound. All right, so the soundstage on these is pretty in line with Campfire's typical soundstage, which is a bit above average in terms of the IEM world of width. But because of the sort of extended low end and the kind of dampened high end, it's a little bit weighed down by the frequency response of these. So if you're looking for the most like breezy, airy soundstage, then this is probably not the place to look. Like I said, it still has that nice width and kind of size to it, but it's just not gonna be that really like kind of feathery feel to it. But with all that being said, I still felt like vocals got a ton of room to kind of sit atop the rest of the presentation, to kind of be separated out and not overwhelmed by any other kind of dominating timbres or elements. And like percussion was able to kind of get a bit of separation and very like intricate retrieval so that I could pick out the different pieces really well and appreciate them all one by one, but also there was enough blend to kind of feel satisfied listening to the song as a whole. So overall, it's a good soundstage, just not maybe, the most kind of intensely holographic soundstage, but I don't think it's really trying to be. Those are my thoughts on Campfire's Mammoth. To me, this definitely has a bit of a specific sound that will really satisfy a sort of niche group of listeners. However, it's not like modulated to the point that it's off limits for someone looking for something a bit more balanced and versatile. There's definitely a lot of kind of just general listeners without a super specific taste who would appreciate this. So if you want that kind of, dampened high end and you want a good amount of bass, but you want it to be very tight and very contained and you don't want any of that extra rumble or boom, and then you like a nice kind of slightly colored mid-range with, some kind of areas of it being pushed forward, then this could be perfect for you. I will be back very soon with some more videos and reviews. I will link below to Major Hi-Fi's IEM ranking tool if you want to compare this to other Campfire IEMs or IEMs from other companies, sort by price, style, all of those different things. Check that out if you have any questions about how this compares to other things that maybe I haven't heard before. And yeah, leave any comments about questions I didn't answer in this video and whatnot. I'd be happy to answer. And anything you have, ideas for videos you'd like us to do in the future, let me know. And yeah, I will be back soon. And until next time, happy listening.